I'm not the shepherd here. This is the family farm, but these aren't my sheep. These aren't the family sheep. There's another shepherd, and he's the one who they know the voice of. And so when he brings food and whatever, they know him. They know the sound of his van, his Land Rover when he pulls up. But me, look at them. I'm on the outside of the fence at the moment. They're looking at me nervously. They don't know that I'm a friend of the shepherd, because they're not used to me, right? Now, watch what happens when I climb over. I'm just sat on the thing at the moment, and look at them. Herd mentality, you see. Now, this is one parable why Jesus calls us his sheep. We know his voice, but there are pastors as well. They're called shepherds, right? That's what pastor means in Latin. Now, in this parable, these sheep don't know me, but they don't know also that I know the shepherd. So they're afraid of me. Now, they're starting to get used to me, but they're still afraid, right? There. Now, one bolts, and all the rest of them will follow. Look. Let me try and split the pack now. Now, there'll always be a rush, a mad rush to follow everybody else. What they don't know is there's no threat. They don't understand there's no threat with me, right? Now, the thing is, not everybody is a friend of the shepherd. Okay? Now, these guys seem quite happy to stay there on their own for the moment. But if I turn my back and look at these guys and start walking away, if I walk over here, maybe, I wonder what's going to happen. They will join the rest of the pack, right? Now, if I try to go too close to them, as someone who they don't know the voice of, they fear. There's just blind panic. It's blind panic. I think this is a very helpful illustration, to be honest. And one of the reasons why the Lord calls us his sheep. Because even when he sends someone who we're not familiar of the voice of, when that person is sent by him, this is what we do. This is us here. See what I'm saying? Panic, confusion, mad rush to be with everybody else. Look, I've been in here, I haven't attacked them, yet all they can sense is like a threat, yeah? Now, you know, obviously there's parables break down at some point somewhere, unless they are literally from the Lord Jesus Christ himself. But I think this is a helpful illustration, and if you agree, comment below. If you don't agree, comment below, and let's see if we can, you know, learn something, talk about it, you know, discuss things about the nature of sheep and why Jesus calls us his sheep, but also why he calls people who he entrusts, pastors, to look after the sheep. Peter, do you love me? Feed my sheep, right? But Peter died a long time ago. And it's only people who are alive who Jesus can trust to look after the sheep. But because the sheep are still listening to the way God did things, you know, a long time ago, sometimes, when something new happens, it's fearsome, it's frightening. They don't feel like they know the voice because they just don't know the pastor very well. They don't know the shepherd very well, right? If these sheep knew my voice more, if I brought them food every morning, they would come to trust me. Right, guys, I've purposely left it about half an hour since the last time I was here, right? Maybe a little bit less. But they remember me. Who's that strange man pointing a thing at me? Now I want to ask you a question. Does this look like the face of intelligence to you? As beautiful as they are, these creatures are full of fear. All they want to do is just basically be left alone, no matter if you want to help them or not. All they're concerned about is what they think is their safety and best interests, right? Now, when certain people describe, I suppose, us as dumb sheep, all of us are included in that. Anyone who loves the Lord Jesus Christ is a dumb sheep. Why are we dumb? Well, when was the last time you saw an intelligent sheep? Because I've seen a lot of sheep before, and they're always like this. Now you might say, well, they're not particularly smart, but you know, they're not stupid. Listen. Let's just, all I'll do is make one motion up, like that. They know who I am, they know I'm not a threat, but yet immediate panic ensues. Kind of like a shoal of fish, isn't it? It is very beautiful. The Lord has made everything so beautiful. But this is why Jesus calls us his sheep. Okay? This is the reason. See what I'm saying? Look, let's see if they'll do something really stupid. I bet they will. All I'm doing is walking around the pen. I've been here before, wasn't that long ago. They know I'm not a threat. Even with the shepherd, they are like this, believe it or not. The shepherd who feeds them every day. No one's going to do anything very stupid, but I mean, maybe they're just getting exercise, who knows. But all I'm saying is there are huge parallels. Now these guys, these are rams. You're not afraid, are you, buddy? In fact, if I was to get in this pen, you would charge me, especially with all your mates around, right? These particular type of dumb macho sheep, or rams, when anyone ever tries to jump the fence, or even enter the gate that is meant to you're meant to go through, right? Because anyone who jumps the fence is a thief and a robber. But if I was to have every right to be in here, led by the shepherd of these particular rams, these guys would not be happy about it. Believe me, they're not afraid. They think they know better. Even if I was to want to try and help them, if I went up to them and, you know, tried to give him an injection, or let's say he had foot rot or something, and I wanted to help him, you wouldn't be too cooperative there, would you, mate? Now, even now they feel threatened, right? They're just chewing the cud, but still, I can tell they're not impressed with me being here and talking, right? These type of, what's going on here? These type of sheep, the rams, the macho guys who think they know everything that's going on and just want to eliminate threats, potential threats, will do everything they can to make sure you know who's boss around here, especially when they're in a pack like this. I don't think I'm going to give you an example because it's happened before. I've been butted many times. There's a reason why they are renowned as as a headstrong, stupid, dumb animal. And this is the male version, right? I think there are spiritual parallels here as well. All I'm saying is, when the Lord, who is the, let's say, top pastor, top shepherd, sends other shepherds to the flock, he calls them pastors. There are evangelists, there are teachers, there are prophets, and there's also pastors, people who are trying to help. This is what pastors usually get, the fear factor, especially when that flock doesn't know that particular person's voice. Once they get used to them, though, interestingly, those people will do anything for that particular shepherd, even if they're preaching something that is not right. And that's why there are lots of pastors, as opposed to just one main pastor in the church. Obviously, there is one main pastor or shepherd, the Lord Jesus Christ, but I guess he's like the, he's in charge of the market. And all of us are answerable to him as his sheep, but the sheep that he trusts more to be shepherds, I suppose, for the rest of or leaders in the flock, have to face what he faces, which is this stupidity, basically. We are dumb sheep. It's not a compliment that Jesus calls us his sheep, okay? If you think you're an intelligent sheep, you have no idea what a sheep is. You've never had any experience with them. You don't know what they do. You don't know what they're like. And this is the parable. It doesn't matter how intelligent, smart, clever, anointed you are. You and I, we're dumb sheep.